everybody, and welcome to Holy Moses Take a Look, second episode. I'm Sheena and James, joined today by two lovely guests instead of just one. There's my usual beautiful assistant, Paul.
Hey.
And today we have another lovely assistant for you, my good friend, Mike Egan.
Hi, I'm here.
Yeah. And we'll be kind of telling you about the stuff that these guys do after the podcast. But as always, this is the podcast where we read terrible books so that you don't have to. Incredible, horrific, terrific books. We're doing chapters 3 and 4 of Irene Iddesleigh by Amanda McKittrick-Ross this week. If my voice starts fucking up for no apparent reason later, it's because I blew out my voice yesterday. So might have some guest reading from my good friends here. So when we last took a look at the book, nothing had happened yet. It was just a bunch of bullshit, as always. Talking about how beautiful Irene Iddesleigh is, with no description whatsoever of what she looked like. So I have the headcanon, until proven otherwise, that she is in fact a haunted cupcake with hands. So she's a beautiful, snowy-handed cupcake who has who John Dunfern, no, not Dunfern. Was it Dunfern? Yeah. No. Dunfern was the other one. Oh no, it was. Then who was the other? It was Dilworth. Dilworth was the other one. So John Dunfern has fallen in love with her because this book is fucking stupid. So let's look at chapter 3. Again, this is a completely blind read. I am reading this at the same time that you are hearing it. Well, not really, but I mean, I haven't read this in advance, is the point. Chapter 3. Arouse the seeming deadly creature to that standard of joy and gladness which should mark his noble path. What does that mean?
This is so big.
Yeah.
It's just a wall.
Yeah. I mean, part of that is just Project Gutenberg's
sure.
thing, but I mean, it's just so verbose. She uses so many words to say nothing at all. It's amazing. And what does that even mean? Arouse a seeming deadly creature to that standard of joy and gladness which should mark his noble path. What? What is she trying to say with that?
I mean, I don't have any context, so I have no idea.
You don't need context. I don't have context.
I mean, the previous chapter we had, what is it? We were only just introduced to the titular character, but not even introduced. They just...
Yeah. She's a snowy-handed cupcake.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah.
And a lot of stuff happened without actually being without the reader being involved in it,
right?
Without getting us,
So something must have happened, but we weren't there for it because we were busy staring at the velvety walls and finest pebble. I kept saying gravel last week, and it was pebble. But okay, so endow him with the dewdrops of affection, cast from him the pangs of the dull past, and stamp them. Pardon me. And stamp them forever beneath the waves of troubled waters. Brighten his life as thou wouldst that of a faded flower. And when the hottest rays of that heavenly orb shall shoot its cheerful charge against the window panes of Dunfern Mansion, the worthy owner can receive it with true and profound thankfulness. There were 3 semicolons in that sentence.
I'm
sorry. Where?
Look, right here. Endow him with the dewdrops of affection, semicolon. Cast from him the pangs of the dull past, and stamp them forever beneath the waves of troubled waters, semicolon. Brighten his life as thou wouldst that of a faded flower, semicolon. And when the hottest rays of that heavenly orb shall shoot its cheerful charge against the window panes of Dunfern Mansion, the worthy owner can receive it with true and profound thankfulness.
I'm still stuck on...
Oh, buddy.
Yeah.
I'm still stuck on endow him with the dewdrops of affection.
I know, right?
It's like dewdrops, sticky. Ugh, I don't want.
Well, dewdrops is like it's like collected water, like condensed water.
I don't want.
But it's gradual, so it's like that's not really what happened.
It's like the only kind of dew I want is Mountain Dew, the cool, refreshing.
Oh my God, we're not being sponsored by them. Don't plug them here. Until they give us money, we're not.
They told us to say that they weren't a sponsor.
Really, don't get me sued, man.
Well, you're lucky I don't get my mate Jones on the case.
Yeah, maybe Jones Soda will sponsor us like they did with, what was it, Dismal Jesters?
We'll send him a tweet, it'd be great.
We love you, Jones.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, it's like, And what is with the random Middle English? Like, brighten his life as thou wouldst that of a faded flower. Like, you can't brighten a faded flower. It just, if it's faded, that means it's dying. And if you take care of the plant, it'll give up on that flower and grow a new one.
It's still one of the less nonsensical things
Yeah.
that have been said so far.
Heavenly orb.
It's just say the sun.
I know, it's like...
Just say the sun.
Praise the heavenly orb!
You know what always brightens my faded flower?
What?
Is the cool, refreshing...
Oh my god, I can't fucking
of
believe...
this Sierra Mist twist.
Just stop. You're gonna get me sued. They're gonna bill you for the legal fees.
It's choking me now.
See, it's angry. You've angered it.
I've angered the Sprite god.
Yes. Look what you've done. So I guess he's like, oh yay, I am happy because I've met this beautiful woman who's actually just a haunted cupcake with arms. Because we don't know what she looks like. 3 weeks had scarcely passed ere Sir John had made the recipient of another invitation to Dilworth Castle. That was so florid and stupid, for it had been 3 weeks since it had happened. Like, ere Sir John was made the recipient, really. The second effusion of cordiality required neither anxious thought nor prolonged decision how to act.
It's interesting to me. I mean, this is, I don't know. Shakespeare must have been some sort of cultural figure. Like,
Yeah. This is late 19th century.
Yeah, so Shakespeare is a revered figure in literature already by this point.
Sure, but I mean, this is over 300 years after.
But, like, just the words, brevity is the soul of wit.
Mm-hmm.
This person obviously never heard them. Or either that, or had it mispresented to them.
Well, see, it's ironic because that line is actually from Hamlet, delivered by Polonius, who is the most long-winded son of a bitch in the entire play. He just chatters inanely about nothing. Like, he's just this miserable old fool.
And then he has the audacity to say, "Oh, don't be
don't talk too much now, Laertes." And Laertes is Mr. Like, okay. He doesn't say much. Like, the most lines he has is when he's talking to Ophelia, like, okay, I'm going to be leaving, but you need to watch out for that Hamlet. He's no good for you. The boy's poison, so watch out.
Whereas he is,
Yes, but I don't know. It's just irony.
Maybe
But
this is her way of saying, "Oh yeah,
yeah,
I'll show you what the fucking soul of wit is."
Yes.
Keep talking. Everyone must hear.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, she thought her critics were like just stupid, and they didn't get what she was saying.
Oh, that's dangerous.
I know,
So
right?
she's like the proto Davis Irene or something.
Yes. Or like L. Ron Hubbard, which I will be reading one of his books later after we finish Irene Iddesleigh, and after that we're going to do The Eye of Argon, because you can't do a bad books thing without reading The Eye of Argon. That's a classic.
I kind of wish I was here for the Hubbard, if I'm honest.
I can bring you on a Skype call or something, and you can help out for that.
That might be fun.
Yeah. But anyway, so second effusion of cordiality. That is so pretentious. Okay. Oh, that was a comma. That wasn't even the whole sentence.
Oh my god.
The second effusion of cordiality required neither anxious thought nor prolonged decision how to act, knowing as he did that it would again serve to bring his present thoughts into practice, by affording him another opportunity of sharing in the loving looks of one for whom he feared there dwelt a strong inclination on his part to advance his affection.
There's no grace in the rhythm of the sentence construction.
God.
It's like, this is
Sentence construction. What are you talking? You just
What
write
is
things.
that? Yeah, you
just write things and then they're there and then you're good.
There are no
You
short
take
sentences to balance everything out.
You take a dictionary, stick your finger down its throat, and it'll vomit words onto the page.
Whoa.
And you're good.
That's an incredibly visceral metaphor.
Well, I mean, even that is more appealing to listen to than this shit. I mean, come on. It's like, that's over 2 lines. That one sentence is over 2 lines, and it's literally just, he didn't ruminate and hem and haw over this invitation because he had a crush on the girl and he thought she liked him back. That's it.
That's all this entire
that's
paragraph
all
is.
she said. Not the paragraph, but just the sentence, which is like 4 sentences. Yeah. Irene stood, looking out on the lake. Oh, I love how it's just like switch. It's like a Homestuck transition. Be Irene. You stop being John and you start being Irene. Yeah. Irene stood out on the lake, beyond the richly draped window, ruminating on the days of her childhood, which lent a look of dullness to the beautiful face that beamed with delight as Sir John Dunfern entered. Wait. So, her thoughts lent a look of dullness to her face, which suddenly beamed with delight. Like, two different things are happening in this one dependent clause.
It's like, is her face dull or is she smiling?
Is she beaming or is she dull? Dull beams?
It's like, why does her face have to be dull if it's not beautiful?
No, if it is beautiful.
But like, lent a look of dullness. Like, it just seems peculiar to me.
I mean...
Like she's not allowed to, what is it? She has to be beautiful all the time except when she's not. Then she's dull.
Well, this is like a Mary Sue character, That's what I'm saying. It's like, my name is Irene Iddesleigh. I have ice blue eyes and black hair with red and purple highlights. Okay, the evening was very pleasantly and quietly spent. Let's just skip the whole evening. Sure, that works. Irene commanding the greater part of his time and attention. On account of Lady Dilworth being slightly ailing, whose health, generally speaking, at this period was not so robust as formerly, and consequently failed to warrant too many callers.
I'm lost.
I know what this reminds me of now.
What?
All of high school, where you're trying to pad out an essay.
Oh my god.
Not as robust as it was former.
Yeah, but the thing is, that's almost exactly the same wording as used in Chapter 2. Let me find it for you.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Lady Dilworth, it may be mentioned, was never of a very robust nature, and often had she felt the great strain of society press rather heavily on her weak frame. So, let's go back to this sentence, all right? The evening was very pleasantly and quietly spent, Irene commanding the greater part of his time and attention on account of Lady Dilworth being slightly ailing, whose health, generally speaking, at this period was not so robust as formerly, and consequently failed to warrant too many callers. That's such a nonsensical word salad.
Yeah.
In
case you forgot,
in case you forgot,
C that I tossed at you.
Yeah.
In the meantime.
I love being slightly ailing, whose health, generally speaking. That's not how you use the word whose. You would say Lady Dilworth, whose health at this period was not as robust as formerly. Being slightly ailing is you have to pick one. You can get rid of that whole, whose health, generally speaking, at this period was not so robust as formerly. We know that she's sickly.
Right.
You could just skip that whole part and just make it, on account of Lady Dilworth being slightly ailing, and consequently failing to warrant her too many callers. It would still be clumsy and horrible, but it would be grammatically correct.
Yeah, she had a word count to hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does make me wonder.
Maybe this is back when people were paid by the word. With Charles Dickens,
It's a solid theory.
But the thing is, Charles Dickens, at least, just wrote more. He didn't just throw crap in there. He just wrote more.
It makes me wonder if there was some sort of proto-NaNoWriMo kind of event.
Yeah, well, she thought she was a genius, so who knows. As the clock struck 11, Sir John began to think of returning home, feeling quite happy, fancying his great affection was returned in full by Irene. See, we have no information whatsoever about what they talked about the relationship, about their personalities.
I mean, I'm looking at the rest of the text that you have on the page, and I'm not seeing a single line of dialogue.
Holy shit. I'm so happy. This is terrible.
I've got no information about how the characters are supposed to interact with one another.
Being very domesticated, and having the stiff ideas of a bachelor of long standing so firmly imprinted in his nature, he felt very diffident in asking the object of his visit when next they should meet. But Lady Dilworth, entering before taking his departure, saved him the shy question by placing herself in his position and demanding the required reply. Translation, he was shy, so he was loath to ask, when can I see you again? But Lady Dilworth stepped in and asked, hey, when are you coming back? There's more elegant ways to say that, but it's a pretty short idea. So John promised without further ceremony to visit them more frequently in future, not in the future, in future, and left their midst with hasty step, lingering in the hall to cast another look at the lovely form which stood not far distant. That boy just loves that cupcake so much. That cupcake with hands. We still don't know what she looks like. So I'm just that's canon now. She's just a cursed.
I mean, until we're given other information to the contrary.
Mm-hmm. She's like Thing from the Addams Family.
Yeah.
You know, just.
I like the idea of just a hand living in like this era and like a dude coming to visit the hand.
Mm-hmm.
Like everybody just treating the hand as though it's a woman.
Yeah, it's a beautiful woman.
Yeah.
But no, it's like she has snowy hands. Like she's got multiple hands, so they have to be attached to something.
To the hand.
It's just a pair of hands, like in Steven Universe.
Everything is hands.
Everything's hands. Holy shit. The Hand Witch!
That was the original title for this book,
Yeah.
I think.
You gotta watch Gravity Falls.
do.
There's an episode where they actually have a hand witch. She develops a crush on Stan, and it's great.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Because he steals from her, so she steals his hands. So.
Well, there's that spoiled.
It's the concept of the thing, so it's not a
fair cop.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. Lingering in the hall, leisurely leaning back in his carriage, and burying himself in his great and costly cloak, in case he forgot he was rich, demanded by the night's icy aspect,
say it was cold.
I know!
Just say it was cold.
He rolled along towards his home, drowned in sweet thought of the beautiful girl whom he only recently knew, but whose regard for her raged with such rambling anxiety as to convince him of the propriety of making her aware how much he meant to play the part of lover.
Just say he was horny. Just say he was horny.
I want to die.
This is terrible. I love it.
Just say he
liked her.
Tell
For
us
God's
he had a
sake.
throbbing meaty chungus.
I don't want to hear about that.
That would be something.
It would be something, but I'm not going to read porn on this podcast. I'm not going to do that.
But like, it's just, I don't understand.
No. There's nothing to understand. It's shallow nonsense.
Like that's just it. Like, I don't understand what her rationale is with all this unnecessarily grandiloquent way of
purple prose.
Because by using all these words, she's not communicating anything clear.
No. And it's not
she's
even
communicating that she knows them.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like she's saying, I know words.
It's just like,
check out some of these babies.
Yeah. But it's not
diffident. What you
yeah.
got?
It's not even aesthetically pleasing though. I think that's the purpose of most like fancy words is they're either technical, they're aesthetically, pleasing in some way, or they have connotations which are specific to that word. And there's none of those reasons appear to be present. Like it's just like I don't know if there were thesauruses widely published back then, but if there were, this is like prime thesaurus browsing the book.
It's like we have no connection to the character. I mean, it is like reading a news report, but like from a journalist who's trying to write above his pay grade, but really badly.
Yeah. See, until now, he was inclined to be prejudiced against the snares and allurements of women, so he's a misogynist. But he was strongly resolved to try gradually and abandon every unkind thought harbored in his mind against them, fearing lest all his conjectured imaginations were both unjust and selfish.
Conjured imaginations.
Conjured imaginations, yeah.
No, you said conjectured.
Oh, did I? Oh, lest all his conjured imaginations were both unjust and selfish, and determined to drown them forever in the clashing gulf of fate, felt a prouder and happier mortal than before. What?
So you tried to drown his thoughts.
I know, but that last one, that's a predicate. Like, this is all descriptive, and then felt a prouder and happier mortal than before. But the main predicate of the sentence is resolved. Okay, that's the main verb. This is all one sentence. And that doesn't make sense. Like, how do you grammar? We just don't know.
This is like, I don't know about you guys, but I have this thing where if I'm trying to work, I can't listen to a song with words in it.
Right, yeah, me neither.
This is the opposite. I can't seem to focus on it.
Yeah. It's just noise.
It is.
After a point.
It's the effect it's having.
Yeah, like I'm trying to read it and I'm trying to make sure I'm getting all the words right because I can feel my brain turning off when I read it. Like it's killing my brain cells to take it in with my eyes. But I love how this whole paragraph sentence is just about, oh, he didn't like women before. He was scared of them and he thought bad things about them. But he tried to stop doing that because he felt he might be wrong. Because of this one girl.
Because he thought he might get some.
Yeah. Because he's like, she likes me.
Some of that ass.
Yeah. Or hands. Everything is hands.
Some of that hand ass.
Hand ass.
I'm imagining like a tiny little booty on the end of
a hand. Like instead of a wrist, it's just a butt.
Yeah.
So.
But she's a cupcake, remember?
Well, okay.
Because she's got a hand.
Okay, so
she's got the fuck that it makes sense. What the hell am I saying? This book is killing my brain. But it's just like, that's such a... like, why would you write that in the character? Like, I'm sure that's never going to come up again either. In any, like, real way. Like, she might bring it up, but not for plot purposes. Or character development purposes. Like, it's just going to be, he didn't like women, but he does now.
Let's read on and find out.
Okay. But time would solve the problem and heal the wound which penetrated so deeply his bosom. What wound? What? Who hurt him? We don't know. Like, I'm not asking, like, in a defensive way. I'm just confused. What happened to him? There was never any allusion to that, anything bad happening to him before. Just that he lives alone, he's fabulously wealthy, he's 40 years old. He's 40 fucking years old. And he meets this haunted cupcake with hands, and suddenly he doesn't hate women anymore. That's what I'm getting from this. Yea, a short time he hoped would bring his creeping fever of endearment under the binding stay of appointed authority, and heal its weakening effects with the sacred salve of truth.
Appointed authority.
What does that mean?
Appointed authority just makes me imagine like there's some sort of administrative body.
Yeah.
There's a bureaucracy attached to his salve of truth.
Like, is he saying he wants to marry her? And that'll make him less sad? Because he's sad for some reason that hasn't been mentioned?
Yes.
Salve?
I guess.
Salve of truth.
Salve of truth doesn't make sense.
I say that all the time. Whenever I feel that one of my friends has been lying to me, I say, could you please just spread upon me the sacred salve of truth? What happened? What happened to us?
You know,
where's our sacred salve?
Salve.
It's like
some
ointment
That's
that you
how I
like
pronounce it.
rub into your arms.
You pronounce it wrong.
Maybe you pronounce it wrong.
I don't, though.
That's your opinion.
Okay. Not until the horses dashed up the winding avenue with increased alacrity was he shaken from his meditating attitude to be ushered once more into the home of the home of boundless wealth. His home of boundless wealth. How many times is she going to say he's rich as fuck? Because, I mean, that's all I'm getting.
As many as it takes. Do you get it yet?
I get it. He's rich as fuck. Don't know why he is. He just is.
Maybe he secretly writes doujinshi comics. I don't know.
Super high school level doujinshi writer.
Yeah,
John Dunford.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's my head canon.
Okay,
He's
so
secretly a weeaboo.
yeah, and he's in love with a cupcake with hands and an ass.
Hand ass.
The lonely stare of grave bewilderment took the place of happiness that formerly seemed to built in abundance for him within its walls as he entered the palatial and gorgeously equipped abode he principally inhabited, feeling the tinge of the dull past filling him with entire despair, whilst meditating on the happy future which presented itself to him. What the fuck does that mean? That's such a pointless sentence. It just kept going. abode he principally inhabited. Okay. Okay.
Well, he's kind of... There might be he's so rich he might have a property he secondarily inhabits. Or...
I guess. I don't know why. What are his feelings even doing?
First he's happy, then he's sad.
But just for a second. As he walks into his house, he feels like, oh, I feel weird all of a sudden. That's
one twist down, ladies and gentlemen. Wish I had another.
Oh my god. I can't believe you.
Talk to me, Sierra.
Stop. How in a trivial period this lonely spot he thought should prove the beacon of never-dying bliss. What? What? Sorry, that was a comma, not a period. I misread that. How in a trivial period this lonely spot he thought should prove the beacon of never-dying bliss when once furnished with the most precious treasure on earth, a virtuous woman.
Whoa.
MRAs write a book. It's like Red Pill wrote this. The very thought of this embosomed and anticipated alliance made him nervously happy, and believing a bright and noble future lay in store for the lonely owner of Dunfern Estate, he resolved to indulge nature in a few hours of calm repose. Does that mean he's going to sleep, or that he's going to jerk off? We just don't know. Indulge nature could mean a lot of things.
I suppose, but calm repose, that doesn't bring to mind...
I don't know about you, but I always jerk off quite calmly.
Yeah, this could be bad.
Yeah, it's just like, I'm relaxed. I'm feeling different.
I suppose, but...
No excitement whatsoever. That's...
Maybe he's watering the flowers.
Yeah.
He's indulging nature.
Yeah. Not his nature, just something else.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know. I mean...
It's such a non-entity of a sentence.
Communicate more effectively. Is he wanking or not?
Yeah. I'd like to imagine that's what he's doing, just extremely calmly. Just, this is great. I'm having a good time. God, she is so hot with her hands, her hand ass.
That's how the noble class does it.
Yeah, of course. They're calm. They have winding paths of the finest pebble. They have velvety walls.
And dignified wanks.
Yeah, in calm repose for a few hours. I mean, no wonder he's calm. He's taking a few hours. He's taking his time. Not in a hurry. It's not in a hurry.
I'd like to suggest that we rename the podcast to Dignified Wanks.
I don't know. I like Holy Moses Take a Look, though. That's too funny to me.
If we can colloquially call it Dignified Wanks.
Yeah, Dignified Wanks. That can be like it'll be like spin-off Doctors in the Movie Boys, you know, type of thing, you know.
And then I can make a funny theme tune.
You can.
Right.
If you make a funny theme tune, I will stop using Florence Foster Jenkins' The Queen of Night aria as the theme song.
It's all up to you now.
But until then, I'm going to keep using it because it's fucking hilarious how bad of a singer she was. Okay, back to this. The days moved along more quickly, Sir John believed them formerly, and possibly he may have imagined this was so, as he felt no longer fettered with fear of fighting with his inward friend, obstinacy, whose hand of drowsy bachelorism seemed forever closed to his changing charity. He had at last thrown aside the garb of female dislike and patronized that of a warm-hearted lover. Holy shit. This is so shallow and stupid.
Telling me you don't feel his pain?
Yeah.
Is that what's happening? He's in pain?
I don't know.
I'm lost.
I don't know.
I'm lost.
I'm lost too. Irene did not lead Lady Dilworth to believe that she really cared for Sir John, and when his name cropped up occasionally, she allowed herself always to keep the coast of conversation clear that would likely convict her views most, and managed cleverly thereby to deceive the friend who came not a day too soon to her rescue. Huh? What?
Yeah, I'm lost too.
Perhaps had Lady Dilworth proved less concerned about the orphan charge she freed from a life of toil, apparently, and instructed her more on the branches of integrity, then the lovely, youthful Irene could have decided more honourably in all cases of questioning, and would have done justice not alone to herself, but all concerned. But like many others similarly surrounded with lovers, battling in a war of extremes and encompassed on all sides with apparent luxuries, she was confident she would some day come off victorious by acting the clever Corinthian. What the fuck does that mean?
I'm
going to look that up, make sure it's a thing.
I'll tell you what I like about that paragraph is it was the last one.
Yeah, we're doing 2 chapters, though.
Yeah, but now that one's done.
The clever...
Got that one in the bag.
The clever Corinthian, like, is that a phrase?
Not a clue. Doubt it.
That's not a thing people say.
Oh, there we go. First result, Irene.
I know, it's not a thing people actually say. What is that? Like, I looked up the clever Corinthian. I got linked to verse 2 Corinthians. The word clever is in it, but I mean, that lots of words were in it.
So what?
So she was being coy. She was playing hard to get. That's it. And it's saying, maybe if Lady Dilworth were... had instructed her more on the basis of integrity. So she's like, maybe she had taught her to be more like a lady, then she would stop being, like, hard to get, or something, I think.
You're a lot.
Or she had proved less concerned, she freed from a life of toil. I don't know what that means. Like, if she cared less?
That was just such an abrupt change in topic.
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time following the thread of narrative.
Like, how hard would it be to just add, meanwhile?
This is like an extreme example of why you shouldn't, why the rule show don't tell.
Yeah, or it's like she could even cut out all the paragraphs about Irene and put them in the next chapter. Just only talk about John and then only talk about Irene so we know what's going on. Because as it is, the writing is so disorganized.
What's your take on this, Egan?
Do they have Ambien then?
No, but they did put heroin in everything.
There it is.
Yeah.
That's my take.
So after looking it up, apparently Egan was not pronouncing salve wrong. It's just 2 different pronunciations. It's like the aluminium thing.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so you're right.
I get redemption.
Yeah. But I was also right.
You were also right.
Yeah. Okay.
It's the ideal outcome.
It's a win-win. Okay, so chapter 4. When on the eve of glory, whilst brooding over the prospects of a bright and happy future. Why would you brood over that? That's a good thing.
I brood over my happy future all the time.
Okay, Batman. Whilst meditating upon the...
No, go ahead. I shouldn't go into Batman. Just go.
Whilst meditating upon the risky right of justice. Is that the correct version of the word right? Shouldn't it be R-I-T-E?
Oh, I don't know what the fuck she means, man.
There we remain, wanderers of the cloudy surface of mental woe, disappointment, and danger, inhabitants of the grim sphere of anticipated imagery, partakers of the poisonous dregs of concocted injustice. Yet such is life.
Who is this referring to?
We don't know! It's us! There we remain! It's us!
Weird the we.
We are inhabitants of the grim sphere of anticipated imagery. Shit, she's on to us. She knew.
It's like, Amanda. What?
You don't have to call me out like that, Amanda. Come on. Don't drag me like that.
What is this? What is this for? Who is this for?
She looks into the future and is like, I'm gonna drag him for filth. She caught me. Alright. Sir John's visits began now to be numerous at Dilworth Castle, each visit serving further to strengthen the link of relationship and bury in the heaving breast of seeking solace the dull delight of the weary past.
Bury in heaving breasts, eh?
In the heaving breast.
And it's...
Of seeking solace.
It's still...
Which doesn't make sense.
Still worth an innuendo joke.
Titties.
Titties.
That's the joke.
Titties is always funny.
It's true. Okay, as the weeks wore on, he reckoned them only as days, when comparing their loving length with those of the bleak years he tried to enjoy alone before taking steps. Yes, serious steps.
Wow.
That, by the way, was not me. That was the book. Quote, before taking such steps, yes, serious steps, as those fancied by the would-be bachelor, unquote. there was an
I know
aside.
you guys are super engrossed.
Yeah,
Let's stick in an M
serious
dash here.
steps. That's right.
So we've had...
It's like, tonally, this is so schizophrenic.
So
it's just, it doesn't make sense.
Before I heard you say that, I was really in disbelief. I needed that.
Yeah,
Yes,
no. Really?
So we've had heaving breasts and loving
Loving
legs.
legs. I'm like, oh,
Getting
compare my loving legs. It's just fucking, it's so bad.
Getting a bit too steamy for me.
No, that's just because the air conditioner's off.
Haha.
We had to turn that off because it was loud. At first, he was careless and indifferent to the flowery harangues of mothers who paid him periodical visits with their daughters of apology and firmly retained the obstinate qualities of an autocratic ruler until softened in the presence of one he found was learning to steadily love. What the fuck is this? I'm just every couple of sentences, I'm just I cannot believe that a human being wrote this down and said, this is fucking brilliant. I need to take it to a publishing house. And it got published. Meanwhile, we got a friend who's trying to get his sci-fi book published, and he's having to crowdfund it. And he's actually a good writer. Back to the book. He believed now that the chief stripes dash...
I don't know.
Observation, inclination, advancement, and accomplishment. Does that mean
those are
vis-a-vis?
the chief stripes?
I know, but it's
yeah, I guess that's
vis-a-vis, or I don't know.
Maybe.
In the well-spun web of matrimony, must harmonize with the groundwork of happiness, without which our lives are not worth an unstamped coin. So if you don't get married, your life is fucking worthless. I guess we're all screwed.
Too true.
Oh well. I guess with our worthless lives, we're just gonna read your shitty book, Amanda. Love's path, on which Sir John was known to tread with the steps of intensity. I thought he was lonely and, a bachelor all the time. With a step of intensity? So, I thought he was Mr. I don't like women. Was he gay before? Seemed smooth as the ice of Inglewood. There were no obstacles in his way of which he was yet aware, save imagination. This also was chased from his mind by the evident and ample return of Irene's polished affections, the foul gloss of which he failed to notice, and whose pretensions were so cleverly carried out as to defy detection. What? So nothing was in his way, except for his imagination, which was also not in his way, because Irene... the return of her affections, which he didn't know about.
That about sums it up.
This doesn't make sense. Even if you read through the purple prose and the grammatical errors, on a fundamental level, this does not make sense.
Boy, I could not care less about what's happening to these people.
I know, right? It's I kind of want them to be, eaten by a crocodile.
Yeah,
and just the rest of the book could be about the crocodile.
Oh, yeah.
I would have a great time reading
Write a croc book next.
Yeah. And then they're eaten by a crocodile who slept for 6 years. She was so damn full.
And then the book ended.
Yeah. Irene was an accomplished and clever girl, and well able to sustain her hidden regard throughout for one who for years previous had been endeavoring to remove the great barrier of position which blocked his path of approach toward her affection.
Okay, where was your fucking punctuation there, lady?
She used it all up.
I guess.
She had a quota.
She
She ran out. It's like in the Phantom Toll Booth, where it's a physical item.
God damn.
She ate all the punctuation marks up because they were too delicious and they're gone.
Maybe there was no punctuation when she turned this in, and they were like, "What about the punctuation?" She was like,
"Just throw it in there,
pepper it in."
Oh fucking! I don't fucking know.
Taste with semicolons.
Just throw darts.
Yeah.
As yet, her parentage was totally unknown to Sir John. Still, he felt it must not have belonged to the rude and ridiculous, since she possessed all the qualities, outwardly, and features of a highly refined race.
Uh-oh.
Are we gonna get racist here?
Dun, dun, dun.
Are we gonna get racist today?
There
I am not here for that.
Red alert, red alert.
Uh-oh. Or white alert. White writer alert. Oh my god.
Engage discourse.
Yeah. I think it's hilarious how it's she has a different last name from her adoptive parents. He doesn't know she's adopted somehow, I guess? That she was an orphan? How do you not know something like that?
Why would you tell somebody that?
Why wouldn't they figure it out on their own?
Who knows is around that kind of
Like,
shit, man?
he goes to Dilworth's house, and he's like, oh yeah, have you met my daughter, Irene Iddesleigh? That's her whole name? Irene Iddesleigh? Yeah. Why isn't it Dilworth? I don't know. Because...
Well, I wasn't here for that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they forgot about that. So there was a thing that happened, kind of. Not really. It's background. There's a word for exposition. It's exposition. World building. Here we go. Where was I?
Highly reflective.
Oh yeah. That's gonna be
You
so...
know where you were.
Oh, God. Okay. And when only a girl of 11 summers, when the worthy hand of benevolence, friendship, and love clutched the tiny fingers of absolute want, there visibly seemed nothing lacking in appearance, manner, or education to solicit the pity or suspicion of her charitable guardian and protector. So she was adopted at the age of 11. That is such a fucking stupid way of saying that.
Maybe? Is that what it's saying?
I think so. I really want to believe she's not 11 years old right now.
Oh, maybe she is.
That would be horrifying.
Yeah.
Dude's 40.
Yeah.
He's
That'll
like...
make this even better.
That's terrifying. This is a horror story.
Drama.
Yeah. Also, I mean, like, when they're talking about John Dunfern back in chapter 2, when she's saying he's 40 years old, she doesn't say 40 years old. Let me find it.
Oh, that's too simple.
Though a man of 40 summers, she counts him in summers, like she's in Game of Thrones or something. Only in Game of Thrones they actually use years because they're not fucking stupid. Like some people are, but... Irene was Sir John Dunfern's many visits of late to Dilworth Castle had been creating quite a sensation throughout the quiet corners of costly curiosity. That's not enough alliteration.
Oh.
Until an announcement appeared in Mac's Society Journal to the following effect. A marriage is arranged to take place in August between Sir John Dunfern of Dunfern Mansion, County Kent, and Irene Iddesleigh, adopted daughter of Lord and Lady Dilworth of Dilworth Castle in same county.
This is the first instance of quoted text.
Those are the first quotation marks I've seen at all, and it's not even dialogue.
Wow.
It's...
Oh shit, I see dialogue.
Don't tell me. Don't tell me.
On the horizon.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
4 chapters in, and finally we have a character that talks to someone else.
This notice, no doubt, caused the partakers in drawing room tete-a-tetes to share...
Teats.
I believe this...
That's not how it's...
I'm pretty sure he's right.
Okay.
Titty teats.
Boobs are always funny.
Drawing
That's
room.
the joke.
Yeah. There we go.
To share in the pangs of jealousy with silent resentment. Why was everyone jealous? Who were they jealous of? Perplexity a little would find refuge within the homes of many who led society by the string of superficial show and pompous importance, and during the interval that elapsed between such an announcement and its important celebration, many and infamous were the charges poured forth against Irene Iddesleigh. I guess they were jealous of her because she's marrying 40-year-old bachelor gloomy man John Dunfern.
I know I am.
I mean, what a catch, right? I mean, maybe they're jealous because he's got all of the money. I don't know. But they're already in high society with a capital S. So they already have money.
Yeah, but
they're like Oscar Wilde protagonists.
It could be like a 36-point font S.
Yeah. That would be freaking hilarious.
Society. I probably clipped.
Society.
The month preceding Irene's wedding was one of merriment at Dilworth Castle, Lord and Lady Dilworth extending the social hand of fashionable folly on 4 different occasions. They seemed drunk with delight that Irene, whom they looked upon as their own daughter, I would hope so, they adopted her, should carry off the palm of purity, whilst affluence, position, and title were for years waiting with restless pride to triumph at its grasp.
It still makes more sense than...
Does it really?
It's better than, Than
what?
I forgot.
See, it's not!
It's so hard to latch onto any of the words in this book.
Like, I'll find like little 3 or 4 word snippets to just fixate on, because they're just like, finest pebble. That shit's fucking hilarious. But it was the second of these social gatherings that the first seed of jealousy was sown within the breast of Sir John Dunfern, and which had a tendency to remain until it gradually grew to such a rapid state of maturity as to be rooted, if possible, forever in its dusty bed of ambush. What is he jealous of? he's marrying her?
Just say he was jealous, then.
Of what?
I don't know.
Like, is he doubting her? Does he not know who she is? Or what the hell is going on? Yes, when the merriment was at its height and the heat too oppressive to allow such much comfort to the corpulent... Fuck you. The espoused of Irene dropped unexpectedly out of the midst of the aristocratic throng, and being passionately an ardent admirer of the fairy-like fruits of the efforts of the horticulturalist, directed his footsteps towards the well-filled conservatory at the south wing of the building. I'm so angry. This is so horrible.
Just say he liked some flowers.
He liked some flowers.
So he went to look at the flowers. That's all you had to say.
Mood.
That's all you had to say, Amanda.
When it was too hot for fat people to be comfortable. Corpulent. I can't fucking believe. The different shaded lights which dangled from its roof bestowed a look of Indian exquisiteness on the many quaint and delicate productions of nature that rested daintily in their beds of terracotta tint. But before leaving the room, he vaguely scanned the throng. Stop saying throng!
I believe it's pronounced thong.
He scanned the throng. No, it's throng, but this is not another silent letter type of thing. That would be funny, though.
Agree to disagree.
Yeah.
Yes. It's always funny singing Christmas carols and singing about thongs of angels.
And failed to notice her amongst the many who danced so gaily to the well-timed tunes of the celebrated pianist Charles Woden, W-O-H-D-E-N, Woden, whose musical touch was always capable of melting the most hardened sinner into moods with mellow softness, and cheering the most downcast and raising their drooping look of sadness to that of high-strung hilarity.
Good on you, Chuck.
Mm-hmm. I'll bet you anything we're never going to hear about him again.
Not important, at least.
Yeah. Also, high-strung hilarity. He brings them into hysteria. He's like the Pied Piper of Hamelin.
I hope he does come back. It's like, just then, Charles Woden, famed pianist, broke in through the window, saving the day, putting out the fire with his body.
Also, I love how it's like... Sir John is like, I'm so miserable, even though this magical piano player is going... And he's just like, I'm so miserable. Gonna go look at flowers. Can't find my girl. Oh my god, the dialogue. Holy shit.
Here it is.
Oh my god.
Buckle your seatbelts, listeners.
Here we go. Can it be possible, exclaimed Sir John in profound astonishment.
We did it.
Why, I've been searching for you for some time past, and have accidentally found you at last. Irene, rising to her feet in a second, was utterly dazed, and had the dim light shewed her proud face to advantage, the ruddy glow of deepest crimson guilt would have manifested itself to a much greater degree. Making multitudinous apologies, etc., she at once joined Sir John, who led her back in apparent triumph to share the next waltz.
That was
the
it.
fuck?
Holy fucking shit, that was it.
That was it?
I was disappointed.
Why did she... What happened? Like, did she go away? Did she run away? To take a break from the crowds? And then he's looking for...
Oh, wait.
What is happening?
Wait a minute. We did miss a paragraph. Uh-oh.
Oh my god, it's all the same. It doesn't even say that. Okay, so let's go back.
Surely it's most important.
High-strung hilarity. Sir John wandered in and out through the numerous windings of sweetest fragrance until arriving at the farthest corner of rather darkened shade, and on the wire couch beheld the object of his pursuit in closest conversation with her tutor, whose name he had altogether failed to remember, only having had the pleasure of his acquaintance a few hours before. Okay, so he's
Found her.
Aha, but she's with a guy. Talking.
God.
Holy shit.
So much words to say so little.
Yeah. Okay, so he's like, oh my god, there you are. And she went back to dance with him, and he's like, yay, we're dancing. How the true heart beat with growing passion during the remainder of the merry festivity. And as the final announcement of separation was whispered from ear to ear, the gradual wane of love's lofty rite would fain have dwindled into pompous nothing, as thought kept tickling his warm enthusiasm with the nimble fingers of jealousy. Jealousy!
Get your paws off me.
Paul is ticklish. That she whom he had ardently hoped would share his future with sheer and loving caresses of constant companionship and wife-like wisdom should be trapped in probably vowing to another her great devotion for him. He's jealous because she was talking to a guy.
Oh shit!
It's like, oh hey buddy, how you doing? And then it's just like, how dare you?
That's how it all starts.
Yeah.
You gotta lock that down.
Yeah, can't talk to anyone.
No way.
No way. No, that's basically like fucking them.
It's basically yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. It's sex through the mouth.
Essentially.
And not,
and not in the way you might think.
That's what they call talking. Sex through the mouth.
Not in the way that's exciting.
That's also my new jazz album.
That only works if you're the vocalist, though.
Right.
Yeah. But better allow the sickening thought to die on the eve of insult, rather than live in the breast of him who, at no distant date, would hear the merry peals of wedding bells ring with gladness, and naturally rejoice at the object of their origin.
Wait a minute. So the jealousy thing isn't a problem now?
I think he's saying, I'm not going to worry about it.
Yeah.
Got a wedding coming up.
Oh, but he's going to worry about it.
Yeah, he's just going to be a stupid shithead and just be like, you were talking to a guy.
I
Your tutor.
I like the little bear we're treated to here, though. That's nice.
At the end of each chapter, there's been a little
motif.
Yeah, a little print cut motif. There's a little dancing bear.
I can barely believe it.
Oh. This guy's little ring is just dancing, having a good old time. I mean, he seems to be a lot happier than we are right now.
It's a reward for making it through.
Yeah, it's like, hey, you've had a hard time. You deserve this. Have a bear.
Here's a dancing bear.
Have a dancing bear.
Here's a Cirque du Soleil bear.
To summarize, what have we learned in these new chapters?
John Dunfern is
a
brain problem.
He's
of some kind.
He's a sad boy.
Yeah.
For no reason.
He's very rich.
Yeah. And I have a feeling that Irene's like random bouts of melancholy are literally just because she's an orphan. Like I have a feeling she doesn't actually have like some dark past or trauma or anything. Like she's literally just adopted.
It's just gonna be like, women.
Yeah, like, them woms.
The woms.
Yeah.
So it's... And in this...
And she's talking to her former... with her current tutor. With her tutor. So she's talking to somebody who she knows, has spent time with.
And presumably...
Who's educated her, and is probably her friend.
And presumably, if John has spent time enough to be married, then at some point it must have come up.
Mm-hmm. But he doesn't even remember the guy's name.
No, it's unfortunate.
I mean, it's rude to be like, I'm gonna just steal myself away and go hang out with this guy. Like, it's rude, but it's not even addressed. It's just, he was looking for her, and then he found her.
And she said sorry. And
yeah. And then it's just... And then it's like an apparent triumph. Like, he's just like, oh, we did it. Cool. And he's like, I'm jealous. How dare you talk to this person?
Oh.
And she's like, I'm sorry. Like, what the fuck, dude?
And again, there's
horrifying.
The chapter ends unceremoniously without any indication of what to expect, without any underlying thought, or without any follow-through into the next chapter.
There's no cliffhanger, there's no anything. It's just like,
we're not given anything to expect, or any reason to care, even.
No reason whatsoever. It just doesn't... It doesn't make sense. There's no rhyme or reason to it.
I mean, were it not for the fact that we'd committed ourselves to this particular publication, we'd have stopped by now.
Yeah, like, if I do this for you people, so you don't have to read it. Because I tell you, if I were reading this for me, I would have made it past, like, maybe a paragraph. And then I would just be like, no, this is shit. I'm done. But as it is, I'm reading it for fun, for humor, for the benefit of others.
So what's your takeaway, Egan? What do you think?
It could definitely use, like, just that little bit of clickbait right at the end.
You'll never believe what happened next.
Exactly. 13 reasons why this book sucks.
It's like a listicle with ads everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what would really punch it up.
That's what would,
That's my feeling.
What do you think is going to happen next to Sad Man and his handy lady friend?
Who is secretly affecting with a hand ass.
The problem is I don't care at all.
Well,
do they get eaten by crocodiles?
At all.
Strong words.
I think they get eaten by crocodiles because I want to believe they get eaten by crocodiles.
I want to believe. We'll put a poster up.
Just put the real thing in there over
Yeah,
that.
check it out for our a cappella group.
We don't have the rights to that.
No, we don't. That's why I'm not saying what it was from. But you know what it was from.
Well,
You know what it is. Alright, so that was 2 chapters. And we've been talking for about 50 minutes, almost 1 hour. So I'm going to end that for this week. Again, this has been Holy Moses Take a Look, podcast where we read terrible books. And joining us today was Mike Egan of Vlogging Egan that does you do your own thing. Yeah, that's you. That's
where
you.
can we
So
find you?
yeah, where can we
your
find
work
your
on the internet?
stuff?
You can find me all over the goddamn place. You know what? You can follow me on Twitter. I'm at EganWorks. That's probably where I talk about the most of my shit. If you want to follow me on YouTube, that's where I create most of my creative works. That's youtube.com/vloginegan. And I've also recently put out a email newsletter if you like spam from friends.
Oh, and Patreon.
Yes, all that's supported through Patreon. It's all there. I'm EganWorks. That's what I am everywhere.
Okay. And as mentioned earlier, just going to do a shameless plug here for a good friend of ours, Niall Slater, who is writing a book, The Second Death of Daedalus Mole.
Well, you say writing. He's written it.
He's written it. He's trying to get it published now. The Second Death of Daedalus Mole. There will be a link to that in the description, along with all the other things our good friend Egan has talked about. And you can check that out. You can check out Niall's work on Unbound. Again, there will be a link to that. So yeah, check out friend stuff for things that don't suck. And have a great week.